Hey everybody, this is Captain Muñiz with Nomad Fishing. Today I'm bringing you the fishing report. It's August 1st, 2025, and just like that, the month of July is over. Before I start speaking to you about the fishing, I wanted to mention to please hit that like button and leave your questions and comments. That's the only way we can keep these reports coming and keep the channel active. So please don't forget to hit that like button. As far as the fishing goes, I think we should start off with the weather. Last week we had a few really windy days, which is uncommon for this time of the year, and it kind of makes the summertime fishing difficult. If you want to run offshore looking for mahi, it's tough to run in the slop. If you're on the reef and you want to anchor, it's also tough. If you want to drift on the reef, it's also tough. So you combine that with the large amounts of sargassum weed we have coming through right now, and it makes the fishing really tough. So this week we're enjoying real nice weather. As you can see behind me, it's nice and calm. It's been like that the last several days. My last two trips, it's been fairly calm, and we've been able to fish comfortably and been able to kind of do what we want. The only thing that has been a little inconsistent has been the current. Seems like one day we have a screaming current followed by no current. On my last trip, we actually had a real nice current. It was about maybe a knot and a half, so it made fishing good. One of the things I did notice is that a lot of the deeper spots I like to fish in the summer, spots anywhere from 200 up to almost 400 feet, I did notice a lack of fish. I was stopping at a lot of these spots and I was not marking any life on the bottom. I was keeping a close eye on the bottom machine, and some of these spots that normally hold all different types of fish, I wasn't marking anything. I'm not sure what has caused those fish to move away from those spots. They're usually there this time of year, but they have moved off. It might be a temperature or a water temperature issue, a water quality issue, a current issue. I don't know, but the fish were not there, and I found that kind of surprising. In a little closer on the reef, as you guys know, this week was the Lobster mini season opener, and it looks like it was a really good opener. Number one, the weather was good on both days, so I think it allowed everyone to get out there and get their limits. Almost everyone I know got out there and got their limits. I didn't hear of any problems, any serious problems. I did hear of one person that I happen to know that had a problem as far as getting fined or something like that, because they were in the park and not paying close attention to the regulations. So guys, do yourself a favor. If you're going to be in the park, make sure you're following all the regulations. If you're not in the park, you need to follow all the regulations. Just be extra sure when you're in the park, because there's a good chance they're going to check you, and they're usually not going to give you any breaks, especially if you're in the park. So watch your regulations, get really familiar with them, and don't take any chances. Like I said, the lobster season was a success. I believe it's closed already. I think it closed last night at midnight, and it'll probably reopen here soon. I believe it's on the 6th is when it usually opens, and that'll be open for both commercial and recreational. But everybody was getting them, the divers, skin divers, scuba divers, people doing bully netting at night were getting them. It seems like it was a really good start to the lobster season. And then getting back to hook and line fishing on the reef, there's been pretty good action on the yellowtail when you can get the current moving. On the days with the slower current, anywhere from like 30 to like 60 feet, the mangrove snapper have been cooperative, especially at night. Seems like the larger ones are coming in at night. You can catch them out on the reef, but we have been catching some keepers in the bay as well. So if you don't want to venture out, or you have a small boat and you want to stay in the bay, there are some keepers in the bay as well. There's been a lot of what we like to refer to as trash fish, which sometimes we pray for when the fishing is slow because it keeps everybody busy. But fish like barracuda, bonitas have been chewing real good. A few kings around, nothing crazy. We are starting to see some small pilchards in the bay. My last two trips, I found pilchards in two different areas. One day I was just coming out of the marina, and I saw them dimpling on the surface. It was nice and calm early in the morning. I was able to throw the net on, a couple throws. I got more than I needed. Those small pilchards are good for mackerel. They're good for the mangroves, even yellowtail sometimes. You can do a lot of different things with them, or you can just chum with them. They're real good for that as well. And then the next day I did find the same type of pilchard on another spot a couple miles from there. So they are coming into the bay. They're showing up. It's a good sign because later in the fall, we're going to get the really big schools. And that's usually when we start netting large amounts of pilchards. We can go tuna fishing and stuff like that. Getting back to the bait as well. I know a lot of you like to know what's going on with the bait. There's been some cigars on the patch reefs outside. They've been tough because the water has been so clear that it's been tough to get them. And some of those days with that little current and no wind and clear water, they get really skittish, but they're there. You can catch them. I also did see on one of the wrecks right out front the other day, there was a huge school of Spanish sardines circling the wreck. They were moving around a lot. Apparently they were getting, chased around by bonitas and who knows what else. And they were moving around really quick, but you'd see them on the top just dimpling. You'd cast your sabiki in there, come back with 3 or 4 really nice sardines, anywhere from like 6 to 7 inches. Beautiful sardines, the type you want to use on your sailfish trips in the winter. But that was pretty cool to see that. And like I said, the fishing has been kind of hit or miss, a little slow. The mahi fishing offshore has been quiet. There's a few fish being caught, nothing crazy. Down in the Keys, it seems to still be going off. I believe that's a different mass of fish that are moving through the Keys because they don't seem to make it up this way. So I'm thinking there are 2 different groups of fish that are, moving. And ours right now are pretty stagnant. There's a few coming through, nothing crazy. Well, guys, with that said, I'm going to let you go until next week. I have a couple of tutorials I'm working on. I really haven't had a chance to finish them, but I'd like to bring those to you here soon. Again, don't forget to hit that like button and leave your questions and comments, and I'll see you next week. Tight lines.